Elon, the CEO of Twitter, recently declared that cancel culture is over. Just months after his takeover of the social media company, he made the comment on Tuesday following an exchange between journalist Matt Taibbi and Joe Rogan on Rogan's podcast. Joe Rogan shared on the podcast that people aren't scared to speak their mind on Twitter, and you're seeing so much pushback since Musk's acquisition. They're not worried about losing their account, which they were before. Rogan added Taibbi, who helped publish some of Musk's Twitter files, said, I hope people are feeling encouraged to say more now. When Musk bought Twitter in October of 2022 for $44 billion, he promised to protect free speech on the platform, saying that Twitter is the digital town square where matters vital to the future of humanity are debated. Musk had previously declared that cancel culture needs to be canceled, and he's saying now it's officially canceled. Do you think cancel culture is officially canceled?
As a moment of yesterday, I guess.
Sure, yeah. As of right now, do you think right now people, the whole concept of worrying about getting your channel shut down or your YouTube or your Twitter account taken away from you or Facebook, now that Trump got Twitter back, he got Facebook back, he got all of these accounts back, do you think the days of being afraid of speaking out are behind us?
That's interesting because my poster shows as a sensitive post to a lot of my followers.
On Twitter or?
Yeah, on Twitter.
Really?
Actually on Twitter,
Interesting.
Yeah. So even till this morning, someone was like, why can't I see her post? So it's a real comments I get. You guys don't get that.
No, of course.
No.
You're talking about shadow banning? Or?
Yeah. I mean, if you post, then it says it's sensitive material.
Of
You
course.
have to click one more to see it.
On Twitter?
Yeah,
On
on
Facebook, absolutely. I don't see it on Twitter.
It's
Let
on
me
Twitter?
look at your tweets.
So my followers
Interesting.
keep saying that, like, why can't I see this post? So, I think maybe at least 30% does that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun because I posted something on Instagram and then a bunch of people and had nothing to do with COVID, but it kept putting the COVID warning.
How recent was that?
This was about a week and a half ago,
Yeah.
and it was absolutely nothing about COVID. But people are like, "Why do we see this? It's a comedy sketch about something completely different." But Instagram is still putting that tag on it.
Instagram is.
By Facebook.
Facebook is.
Yep.
I don't know if YouTube is doing anything with it, but YouTube will still comment on, hey, this one a little bit too far, or certain things would say. Do you think cancel culture is over with?
I think this is what is known as a self-fulfilling prophecy that our friend Elon Musk is reaching out for. I think we're starting to see the infancy stages of cancel culture, like this anti-woke agenda that Ron DeSantis and certain other people are sort of spearheading. No, I don't think cancel culture is over. And I'll tell you why, because you also have tens of millions of Gen Z, for the most part, who are the kickstarters of cancel culture, and they're not going anywhere, and they're doubling down on some of their things that they believe in, their ideology, whether it's sort of the LGBT stuff or whether it's the critical race theory or whether it's a 1619 project. These things aren't going anywhere. What I think will help identify sort of like the canary in the coal mine of where cancel culture will be is the 2024 election. We'll see where that kind of goes, because I think if it is Ron DeSantis or even Trump on the right versus whoever ends up being on the left, if it's a Biden or a Newsom or a Kamala or whoever, I think that'll be sort of an identifier. But no, I do not think that it is over. I think even within Twitter, it is not over. I think that he's done a good job of making it more of a free speech platform, but I think he still removed Kanye. I think there's some certain things. So
He didn't remove Kanye. He suspended Kanye.
Yeah. Yeah.
And by the way,
Same thing.
I don't think it is though. I think that is like there's a difference between getting your license suspended and taken away, right? If you get listen, I had 21 speeding tickets. One day I'm driving with a guy. I'm trying to teach him how to sell insurance policies. This is 18 years ago, 17 years ago. Cop pulls me over, says, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm on the 101 freeway. I'm trying to get to a client's house." He says, "What are you doing driving with a suspended license?" I said, "I don't even know if my license has been suspended." "Your license is suspended for a year." I had to get out of the car. Somebody had to come pick me up, take me. Guess what? Yes, I deserve to have my license suspended at the time. But then I got it back.
Yeah.
And then I lost it again. I got it back again. But eventually, I'm driving, right? Yeah. Cancel culture, I think when Elon is saying this, he may be right because to him, think about if you're Elon Musk. Elon Musk is for sure, cancel culture is for sure canceled for him on Twitter.
100%.
Did you understand what I mean by that?
1000%.
So for sure it's canceled for him on Twitter. Now, do I think it's decreased on Twitter? Yes.
100%.
Do I think people are saying stuff on Twitter that they couldn't get away with, a year ago? 1,000,000%. I don't think you could have gone away with it 6 months ago on Twitter. Do I think some things are broken because the new engineers? I'll give you an idea. We have a app that we developed. Tom knows this story. So we moved away from one of the developers that we hired. We moved away to a bigger developer because of a team of 500 people, and they can do stuff for us that the other guys couldn't do. The new developers updated 7 different things that worked incredibly well, but they broke 2 things that was working well.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah.
7 things work sick, but 2 things that were not broken, they broke it by trying to fix 7 other things.
Yeah.
So I think Elon's Tesla engineers or whoever he brought in right now may be breaking some stuff while fixing 80 things. And I think the users have to be a little bit patient, but people are not afraid of saying stuff today than they were afraid of 6 months ago.
But Adam made a great point, but let's just say Trump wins in 2024. You don't think, because I know they're cleaning up and all these Twitter files and the FBI is embedded, and the FBI is going to Twitter and monitoring for a political party. You don't think they're still going to be there if, let's say, Trump wins? Those people are still there. The FBI, to me, is all left, all Democrat voting. I remember that one time I asked, how many Republicans are actually in the FBI? When the FBI is that involved, bro, it's going to come back. You'll see.
Let me. I don't necessarily agree that all the FBI or the CIA is all Democrat. I don't think. I don't think
the majority
at
is.
all.
I think the majority
However, what I do want to ask, since you're a comedian, is how many times can you be canceled? What do I mean? We just saw that Roseanne Arnold, or whatever she goes by these days, Roseanne, was canceled.
Yeah.
Right. A few years back, and now she's on tour again, and her whole thing is, well, you can't cancel me again.
Yeah.
It's like even Andrew Tate as an example. It's like, I've already been canceled. The Matrix has used all their bullets. Well, now they've used another one. He's in jail. But can you get canceled again, I guess is the question.
I mean, you just nailed it, though. She was canceled. Remember, she did the national anthem, and she mocked it. That was one of the first cancels.
Yeah,
they were like, you're done.
They just laughed at her. Canceled was like,
Americans,
when they pull you off of your show, they remove you from your platform, you're done. That's what happened with Roseanne.
I think you make a good point about the 2024 election, Adam, is that we're going to see how does the populace really think about candidates and about what they stand for these kind of things, and that's going to show up. But what I think Elon Musk was saying is, I can't read his mind, but the way I read it is, cancel culture is done at Twitter. I'm done taking orders from the outside. We're trying to fix things and do it. And I think he was very adamant about that. And I think he's also saying, and I'm not going away. And I think it was a vision statement for the rest of us, because I see it's not getting better, everywhere. Certain places it's getting better. Everybody's like, oh, change the leadership at YouTube. Maybe this is a sign that some things are going to be different. Maybe you can have an opinion on COVID that won't get shut down at YouTube. And I think, so I that's why I read it, Pat. I read it kind of as a vision statement, and I'm not going away, and cancel culture is done at Twitter. And he knows his impact on the rest of the world. He's an influencing voice. So that's kind of the way I read it.
I'll say something here, and then Yeonmi, if you got any thoughts, we can go to the next story. So here's one thing I will say. I think when you notice Facebook, Instagram, everybody kind of giving Trump reinstating him on the accounts, I think a lot of these guys, and including YouTube, maybe firing Susan, the CEO of YouTube, maybe a lot of these guys are sitting there saying, dude, let's just make sure they don't target and find out our freaking YouTube files. What if they find out Facebook files and Instagram files? Holy shit, if they figure this part out. So listen, let's kind of accommodate. Let's kind of slow our roll on the strikes and the banning and this and that, and let's kind of let people loose a little bit more. Let's kind of know that this is going to be the year of investigations, Fauci and Twitter files and, Biden and Hunter Biden and all. They're going to be investigating everybody. Let's just pump the brakes. The people that were committing the crime, I think they kind of want to be away from all the, the investigations that's taking place. If you look at the social media influencers, you'll notice a couple different things. Watch how the loudmouth NFT people, how loud they were a year and a half ago. Look how quiet they are today. That's all you have to see.
Whispers.
How a year ago NFTs were the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Yep.
they're so quiet and they're talking about kindness. And they're saying, hey, yeah, let's just kind of
Love.
roll. And it's all about love. And you know what they're trying to say? Please love me and leave me alone with the money that I made selling all these NFTs to people that 99% of them are a waste of time. I think that's kind of what's happening. However, here's the thing. From an Iranian and somebody who's from North Korea and somebody who struggled growing up in Miami, we have to know that you have to forever and ever fight for freedom of speech. I don't think there's ever going to be a time where cancel culture is canceled. I don't think there will ever be a time where you're going to be free of that, ever. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, totally. Actually, you mentioned about FBI. I was invited to speak at FBI Dallas last year. And then like 2 days right before my event, the head of diversity calls me. And then she calls me, my political opinions are too controversial. So she has canceled me.
Get out of here.
Bingo.
At FBI.
I told you.
But we agreed that I'm going to only speak about my experience from North Korea, nothing about American politics, just my journey to freedom.
And they still didn't let you.
No.
In Dallas.
Yeah, FBI Dallas.
Which is in Texas, which is still a red state.
I know.
if you ask me.
Yeah.
So that's very weird. What was the justification?
I guess I was not diverse enough. I mean, the head of diversity course.
I'm an Asian defector. North Korea.
Yeah.
You're not diverse enough. What does that mean exactly?
I think they are looking for maybe like skin color of diversity, right? But my thoughts were too controversial in her mind that I don't know what it was. Just calls me like your political opinions, literally political opinions are too controversial. So we cannot have you here.
And going to my point, and Adam, I understand where you're kind of coming from, but if I'm interested to see, Rob, if you can even look up, you're not going to see it. What are the percentage of FBI agents that are left-leaning or Democrat? Because where are all the Republicans when the FBI has been doing all this dirt for all their years? What do we have? 2 whistleblowers that were like, hey guys, collusion and small little whistleblowers, but the majority of them are what? They're all left, bro. They all work with Hillary. They all work with all these guys. I'm very, very curious to see how many of them are actually, how many they're letting in that actually go to the right.
Yeah,
because I'm not seeing them, bro.
Actually, I think you made up a really good point about just sort of the timeliness of where we're at. Would you agree that 2020, 2021, with the election, with COVID, with lockdowns, with mandates, with Gen Z sort of being this is their first time to vote, all that kind of culminating, that was the worst of the worst of the worst with this cancel culture, meaning it can't get worse than it was during COVID, right? Like in the greater context, like we're sort of coming out of it. We're seeing the economy. We're seeing just the pushback from whether it's Musk and Twitter and things being more open, less people getting canceled. Do you think we've seen the worst of it, is my question.
On the cancel culture side?
All of that, correct.
Well,
yes.
Okay, so here's the part that for me, I'll get comfortable with, okay? So if you think about school system, and we're talking about the number of people, teachers, professors, we talked about this a couple podcasts ago where they measured purely by the dollar contribution, school teachers. This is why I want everybody to consider taking their kids out of public school and put them in private schools, and consider homeschooling. I recommend every parent consider taking their kids out of public schools and putting it in private school or homeschooling if you can afford it. English teachers, out of 100 teachers in America, 97 were Democrats, 3 were Republicans in public school. Health teachers in America, out of 100, 99 Democrats, 1 Republican. Math and science teachers, out of 100, based on contribution, 87 Democrat, 13 Republican. That is a monopoly. It's not a 50-50, okay? Private schools are not 80% Republican, 70% Republican, or 60% Republican. There's still 60% Democrat. Because most teachers are not making enough money where their policies would be policies to vote on maybe on one side. 60% of teachers in private school are still Democrats, but it's a little bit more of a balanced situation. So where am I going to answer your question here? Here's my answer to your question. What's happening is, for 15 years, these social media companies were all owned by the left.
Yep.
For 15 years. So guess what? When Alex Jones got canceled, the next day, 100 people canceled him. Why? because they're all on the same page. It's one phone call. Hey, Facebook. Hey, Google. Hey, YouTube.
One
hey,
button.
PayPal. Hey, this. Hey, that. Boom. The next time we interviewed him, it was 9/11, by the way, when I interviewed him in Austin. I want to say this was 4 or 5 years ago, 2019 maybe, 2018. I don't know the exact year when we sat down and we interviewed Alex Jones. The day after he got canceled, we were with him. This guy gets canceled. So now, does he say crazy things? Of course he does. Does he get himself in trouble all the time? Of course he does. But today, a guy like that saying something, they have to be a little bit more methodical to cancel everybody because Elon Musk. Now, here's what we need more of. We need 1 or 2 more to be bought. Look at what Spotify did. The best thing with Spotify, you guys have no idea how big of a role Spotify played a year ago with Joe Rogan when everybody was saying cancel Joe Rogan. What is Spotify? A company out of Sweden?
Sweden, yeah.
And they said,
Daniel
no,
Ek.
we're not going to cancel him.
Not doing it.
What do you mean? We're not going to cancel him. 2018 was the Alex Jones interview, September 13th. The video went out, but the interview was on 9/11. Yeah, I'm not canceling him. You're not canceling? No, we're not going to cancel Joe Rogan. So everybody was hoping if Spotify, I cannot tell you guys how big of a role Spotify played in the concept of cancel culture. If Spotify would have said, no, we are going to cancel Joe Rogan, let me tell you, massively problematic for a lot of people in America. If Spotify would have canceled Joe now gets, everybody else is now saying, damn, the guy from Sweden is also defending what they're doing here in the U.S., then we had a problem. Spotify helped cancel culture in America more than Americans even know. So shout out to, is it Daniel Ek, the founder and the CEO of Spotify? Whatever you're doing out there, building your platform. No, when's the last time you heard about somebody getting canceled on Spotify?
I haven't.
When's the last time you heard somebody getting their shows taken down on Spotify? No one even talks about Spotify. Everybody talks Rumble, but Rumble is a conservative platform. Spotify has left, right, middle, those who hate Republicans, those who can't stand capitalism, and they're totally okay with it. I'm telling you, one of the most important companies on cancel culture the last 12 months was Spotify.
Thank God.
They get very little credit for what they did.
And if you look at Northern Europe, and we could digress on this, but I will and I won't, is first of all, you have Spotify that's up there. Second of all, you have Finland and Sweden, where there's some very different views about COVID and masks and vaccination. And so Northern Europe has been an anchor of assistance fighting against this.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.